tried to not have any expectations. I didn't really think something would come of it, but then I saw my name, then I was like, oh my god, this is like it's crazy when you have such legends of the sport saying, okay, I believe in you, like we're gonna pick you up for this. It's an opportunity I will not waste. Put it like that.
Well, that's good, young lady. I think that's anytime somebody, especially someone like Hella, Irene, and Gina, sees potential in an athlete and want to help that potential grow. That's important, and especially we feel like what this is a tough sport, especially with four women. This sport can be mentally, you know, physically, spiritually, and financially draining. And it's good that the sponsor does help. So, this is a question I'm gonna ask you: what got you started in sport? As I call it, muscle and masculinity. Please share.
Okay, so I was before I was in a time in my life where I was not very healthy. All the way back in the day, I used to be obese. Where I'm very lucky the way I held my fat that I don't have any loose skin in my midsection, luckily. But yeah, I then adopted some other unhealthy habits down the line, which I managed to lose weight, but I was still really unhealthy. And eventually, I realized that this whole live fast, die young attitude is not gonna play out much longer. Like that. And I was looking into, okay, so how do you actually get fit? Like I was like, this time I want to actually do something. And I found in my search some documentaries on YouTube about bodybuilding. And I saw the women there and I was, wow. And I realized that you can actually control what you look like. I was like, so you're telling me this whole time I can look like a Dragon Ball character? Like I can not only be fit and strong, but I can look like nobody. Why didn't nobody tell me this before? Oh my god! I was like, I will dedicate my life to this right now. Um, yeah, and then I just went kind of in on the deep end. At that time, I didn't really have money for a coach, and it was like around COVID time as well, so not the best place or moment in time. But I was determined, so I started trying to learn. I went through all the old Athlete Next videos and old Jeff Nippert content and whatnot, and tried to learn how to diet because the first thing I understood, and this is I'm very happy that I found that advice, is that if you so at this point I was sorry jumping I'm jumping
That's
back
a
and
good,
forth
good, good,
now,
good.
but um people were like, so you've never even been to the inside of a gym, you don't know how to diet, you want to be a bodybuilder. Like this is what I'm going to do. So the best advice I got there was to first, well, I mean, not first, but the most important thing is you have to be able to follow a diet. It has to be second nature. So I was just trying to learn, okay, how am I going to do that? And then the other best piece of advice I ever found was to just focus on one thing at a time. Like one thing, pick one thing where you're like, yeah, I can do that probably indefinitely. So for me, it started with kind of the obvious cutting out soda, and then I went from there and developed that. When it came to ultimately cutting out sugar and processed foods, it got really difficult for a while. But yeah, the drive that what drove me there was really I wanted to get fit, and then realizing that I can also look like an anime character. That was so cool. It was I fell in love with it immediately. That I can't imagine anything more fun and cool than to get strong and look good doing it.
Yeah. Who's your favorite anime character?
If I can only pick one, that's going to be really difficult.
Well, let's do that. Pick three.
Three, okay. Probably Vegeta from Dragon Ball.
Kakarot.
Um, Alucard from Helsing. Although I kind of like Anderson better, but Alucard from Helsing is pretty cool. So it's my favorite manga ever. It's amazing. And in third place, there are so many, but I gonna pick one from because I only recently got into it, so very late. But Guts from Berserk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I was coming up. There was a show. It was probably before your time. It's called Voltron. It was very popular. Japanese anime. It came to the states. It was about. It was the idea behind the Power Rangers. When I used to work at night. So it's not come home late at night. I used to watch Naruto. I mean, that was one of my favorites. One of my favorites also was Steel Metal Alchemist.
Oh yeah.
This is what one thing I use. The rule of alchemy. It says that to obtain, you must lose something of greater or of lesser value. To me, I say like this: you must lose something of greater or equal value. Because sometimes you lose something of lesser value, you're not really losing anything. So, but yeah, anime, it's very popular, especially if you're into costume cosplay. I know I was following you looking at social media. You did a lot of cosplay. You still
Yes,
do it?
I did. I competed for over a decade there. I eventually started to judge as well, and then I stepped away when because I moved countries and some other stuff happened. But I'm low key kind of retired from that. But yeah, I was really into it, very much so. I love cosplay.
Yeah. But now as a bodybuilder, there's a lot of bodybuilders who do a little cosplay on the side. Hey, man, even think about
I
starting back up
sometimes think
again?
about how do you actually do that? I mean, first of all, both hobbies ain't cheap, and then if you, I mean, it depends if because if you're trying to compete in both bodybuilding and cosplay, because depending on what project you're working on, that still takes a lot of time, and then have a day job, and then maybe like I don't know. For me, it just seems like a lot. Like I can't imagine. I would just take a long time. I'm sure it's to be done, but I don't think if I was trying to make something at a level that I would be happy with, that I would want to be competing at. I would take forever because I don't have time to sit there for like hours making a pattern, sewing this, that, maybe leather crafting, don't know what. But yeah, I mean, I'm very impressed when I see cosplayers, when I see bodybuilders also cosplaying, playing, and making their costumes or something, and competing on top of that. Wow, that's a lot. I mean, this bodybuilding is already a very always on situation type deal. So
Yeah.
trying to fit anything else in there can be a challenge at times, especially if you have a day job, an office job, or let alone if you have to commute as well on top of that, and then trying to do everything that isn't your job on the weekends as well.
Yeah. So what do you do for a living?
My job title said account executive on behalf of LinkedIn, but that really just translates to marketing consultant. So I help advertisers not throw their money in the bin, basically.
So you watch the bills.
Um, Kind of. So if you're a I mean, yeah, financials obviously play into it. Like we try to maximize return on investment, obviously. But if you're someone who runs ads on LinkedIn, I'll be like, look, I'm gonna help you out, and then we meet, and I'm like, okay, look, over here, your for example, I don't know if you're manufacturing company, and then you're targeting all the entry level users and cleaning ladies in supermarkets, probably not going to help you. For example, like I just make sure they don't do anything too wrong and try to help them and build their strategy. But I don't want to get too much into detail. It gets a bit
Yeah,
dry.
I can understand. We can use somebody like you right now, where our country's going. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Wow.
you know,
I don't want to
but
say anything about that.
hey, I didn't vote for the mess. I just we're stuck for now. We're stuck.
It's funny. Every time I meet Americans, if they're traveling, I went to Romania a while back, and I met some Americans on the bus. And every time I meet Americans, they almost like you ask them where they're from, and they're almost embarrassed, and they start apologizing profusely. I'm like, it's okay, it's okay, don't worry.
It used to be back in the day when you ask us, depending on who was the leader at the time, especially Obama. We say we from America. We from America. Now you got this dumb shit.
Well, I don't think, I mean, you can still, you're not your government, like, I think you should still be proud to be an American. I mean, the American dream is still a thing, and that I think what should, I mean, I can't speak on behalf of America, obviously, but I think America has some inherently good, well, yeah, original, how do you say that? I'm
ideals
thinking
like
of a word I can say, yeah. But the
where
idea of America, you have to keep it alive, you can't give up on the dream.
Well,
And
it's like there's a movie years ago called Pretty Woman. There's the end of it where the guy says, "America's like Hollywood. Everybody wants to come here, but right now Hollywood is burning." So, where are you from, and where you are now?
I'm from Germany, but I have been moving around a lot. I left Germany when I was, I think, 21 or something. Then I moved to the UK, and I lived in the UK for, I think, about 5 years. Then I moved to Singapore, and then I moved to Greece. I moved back to Singapore for a couple of months. Then I moved to Portugal, and then I moved here to Bulgaria, and this is where I am now, Sofia, Bulgaria.
Wow, you travel the world. I tell you the truth, I'm a country boy, ma'am. I've lived only in maybe three places I can remember when I was little. We lived in a place. My family were sharecroppers. They worked farms where people land, and we lived in one place here. I think the one place I lived in was for 15 years till I was out of high school, and then we moved up here where we live now. This apartment I shared with my mother. I used to before she passed. I lived here for 30 years. I have, other than maybe going to Tampa, I mean, going to Florida at least 3 times, Tampa and to Disney World twice, going to Georgia a couple of times, going to Virginia. I've really never even gone past out of. I'm planning to go on a trip in a few months. I'm going up north to to attend a couple of shows. But yeah, wow, you're a gypsy, aren't you?
Well, I would fit right in here. We do have a lot of those over here as well.
Yeah,
But yeah, maybe it's time. Maybe you should come check out Europe. We have shows over here as well. I mean, I met the guys from the dude from female bodybuilding channel as well over here. So there are things to do and to see here as well. In
yeah.
the US, I've only been to San Francisco and Orlando and Atlanta for Dragon Con, obviously.
Oh, Atlanta, because I have a family live. My oldest niece and my great nephew lives in Atlanta. Last time I was there, we visited them for Thanksgiving weekend. I hung out with a lady who was a bodybuilder that I interviewed, and I got to meet Christine Ware. So out to Christine. It was a nice place. I also to have the Linda Murray show that's coming up this August. A couple of days, the interview is going to make their pro debut at that show. We have here some comments. Shout out to my guests here. This is from Tony. It says, "Hi Leonie, congrats on your great shape. Do you plan to compete soon?"
Well, first of all, thank you for the compliment. I have currently no concrete plans or shows planned. So the idea is that originally, when I competed last, I was going to do another show to compete for a pro card, but we decided against it because, well, I mean, my physique ain't terrible, but I want to have a physique that can be competitive at a pro level. And there's a huge difference between a physique that can turn pro and a physique that is actually competitive at a pro level. And we were like, well, I might get a pro card now, but if someone shows up who's like already there, then maybe not. And it would just, I mean, competing ain't cheap. So we were like, well, it makes more sense try to have a very productive off season and try to put on the size that I need to be more competitive, and then I can rock up to a show and be like, yeah, I'm really confident I can collect my pro card type thing. So, but I will follow Hella's advice. She is my coach now, and yeah, when she says I'm ready or recommends me doing a show, then I will certainly follow her advice on that regard. But yeah, for now, I am just eating food and doing my thing. I'm not on anything, and I haven't been in like half a year or so. So yeah, but the goal is to go big or go home.
Yeah, you take the time to grow, and that's smart. And Hella is a legend. I will say this: Hella is now, since she reached her retirement, she's the last woman who has competed consistently in women's bodybuilding at the Olympia. She has been a bodybuilder straight through and through. There, not too many women like that anymore. Many ladies start out in another division like figure, physique, bikini. When they got into the sport, and then they eventually evolve. And what was your first division? Because everybody has the first. What was the one that got you into the sport?
So I mean, you can't. It's not really for me. I couldn't just like snap my fingers and be big enough for physique, right? But I was looking at the different divisions, and what I thought looked a bit more achievable and also very beautiful and sexy is wellness. But I don't at all have the genetics for that, to be honest. But it
Yeah,
was a cool experience and a fun way to use that kind of as a stepping stone into bigger things, and that was a lot of fun as well. So that was the first show that I did, and yeah, then I was like, yeah, it's time to grow because this is definitely not for me to stay. This is not. I don't have the crazy leg insertions and the genetics for that, and it's impossible for me to keep my upper body small enough for that as well. It's yeah, I have I'm very top heavy in that regard. So yeah.
yeah. Because I think with wellness, if it's women who have those strong, as I say, like this Afro aesthetics, bigger hips, bigger thighs, more bottom heavy naturally than other divisions. That's why the Brazilians dominate so well
Yeah.
because they have those certain aesthetics. You have to they have nice connection to your hamstring tie-ins. You don't want to be too big at top because like I'm looking at girls right now in wellness that could do women's bodybuilding or physique. I mean, they just
Yeah, I mean,
they,
some of them are like a bit top heavy. Well, I mean, you should have like some muscle. That's why I like wellness a lot better than, because you can, in wellness you can get away with having a bit of a bigger upper body than like a bikini girl as well, obviously. But it's still like obviously hourglass figure and pretty bottom dominant. But that's also the beauty of it. But it's something you really, really have to have the genetics for
yeah.
if you
I
want to
think
go anywhere.
yeah, that's the point is about genetics. You can work hard, but then if you don't have those genetics, like one lady who just decided she's making her switch over to wellness, that's Christina Mendoza. She has the good bottom heavy nature, but I think she needs more time to drop a lot of that upper body she gained from women's bodybuilding. And you look at divisions like bikini and wellness, they are very. There's another division that I'm not a big fan of, and I can't. It's called, excuse me, fit
That's a bit
model.
mean. So the thing is, right, in the beginning there was only bodybuilding, right? It was, and the other thing is, right, so I don't want to like I just made a YouTube channel. I don't already want to get canceled, but
We're about to get canceled. I do
yeah,
what I do
but
because hey, I've been
I
on here
mean,
longer.
like bikini, I kind of get, at least on a pro level. And it was like, because this is like really like they have these dense muscle shapes are still there, even though they're very small. But to me, bodybuilding is about muscles at the end of the day, right? So when I saw this fit model thing, I was just like, you have to be. This has to be. I was like the red guy from that from BlizzCon. I was like, is this an out of season April Fool's joke? Because I feel like, I mean, come on, the federations are already charging us an arm and a leg for everything that they can. I feel like this is just a grift to try and get more people to compete, to pay entry. Like, what is this? What is this? Why are we like? It's not like I fell in love with bodybuilding because it's the art of creating these insanely beautiful muscly shapes, right? And then if you have a division that's you can't really see much muscle, you don't need to have much muscle. And this is something also that I spoke to a friend about not too long ago. For example, when people compete and they're not at all in stage shape and how like at all, like they're a bit fat, and they show up to compete and stuff, and I think it's a bit disrespectful. I felt like that too when I saw like the stuff that went viral about that one girl, and I was like, this is bodybuilding. This isn't a Target checkout line. It just feels disrespectful, If like when you see people where you're like, oh yeah, this is just like a normal person, and they just showed up for shits and giggles. It feels disrespectful. I don't know. I
Well,
mean, I'm like I said, I'm not trying to get canceled, but that's my opinion. Correct me
see,
if I'm wrong.
here's
But
the thing is here's like this. I don't try to worry about what people think of what I say. You don't like what I say, you can turn me off. You can go about your business. I feel like this. I've been following bodybuilding longer than you have been born. And I've seen the sport has evolved when there was just men's bodybuilding, then there was women, fitness, figure, physique came along. Bikini wellness, they didn't evolve like the others, like physique and figure. They were pulled in because they wanted to
Mhm.
get more attention. But after some time, it evolved to what is now. And that's the thing about this new division. It's basic, but the thing is, it will take long those women to start to grow and change, develop. What's the point of having it? Either you might have to do this, either make it the bikini, call it bikini light, push it to compete. Some of the bikini girls will go up to maybe figure,
Mhm.
and I would say push some of the physique girls to women's bodybuilding. It's just the evolution of every athlete over time. Here we have my man Tony. Shout out to man Tony. Appreciate you better coming through. Said, do you plan to compete in physique or women's bodybuilding? So what you plan on?
Well, I mean, for now, I'm in women's physique, but I mean, never say never. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll join the really big girls. But for the time being, it's just physique, and that's when I want to turn pro. Yeah, that's that's it. I'm a physique girl.
Yeah. Well, I'm like this other guy. He says, I don't have a plan, Lucy. I just do. I'm just a dog chasing cars. I know what to do when I get one.
Well, for me, it's more like it's a bit. Bodybuilding feels a lot like a shonen anime, and you have it's like you have power creep. I was talking about that on my channel as well. It's you start getting into it, and you grow your muscles, and you're like, damn, you can always be better, you can always be bigger, right? And it's your perspective kind of changes with it as well. So as you get like it's like yourself, you're always the baseline, so you don't feel like you're getting that much bigger, but suddenly people you thought were huge, or even rewatching movies, and I'm like, didn't I think that dude was jacked? I'm like, he looks kind of mid, and it changes your whole perception. So I remember when I first was looking, like getting into it and looking at these muscly women online, and I saw Amazonka on Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, she looks like a caricature of a human being. That's insane, right? That's like, I was like, that's obscene. It looks like, I was like, okay, that's too much. But now I look at her, I'm like, she kind of looks cool. And I was like, oh my god, I am cooked. I am so cooked. My perception really has changed because I'm like, she looks really cool.
Yeah, and everybody knows that Amazonka is Natalia Kostanova. She is a bodybuilder. She is a pro, but she hasn't competed like in a few years. It's kind of like Dragon Ball Z. Like she's like Broly. You say like 1 million power
Yeah, I
ranks.
sometimes think about that. Like, who is she gonna compete against? She's in a league of her own. Like, when it comes to like size with aesthetics, that's her. Like, there's no one who has a physique like she does. And she has this tiny waist. And I remember like when you just think it has to be photoshopped or something, but then you see her standing next to Larry Weir, and it's like, wow,
Yeah,
it's so impressive. It's just incredible what she has built. And it's
yeah.
just so impressive that you were able to build your body into that shape. What? That's
But then,
crazy.
but then there's the flip side too. Some people look at it as very being off-putting because you have a woman who's looked bigger than pretty much some men.
So a
You
lot of
know,
male bodybuilders.
yeah, I would say still not as many as you look at guys like Samson Duda. You look at one guy
Yeah,
who I
okay.
got to meet in person, the current Mr. Olympia, Derek Lumford. He was at Tampa while I was hanging out with my friend. He helped her with a booth. That's bad rap. I'll shout her out
Oh, you
later.
met
Shout out to
Derek
my guy.
Langer? That's cool.
Yeah, I met him. I didn't realize he was that short. I mean, I
Yeah,
mean,
welcome to bodybuilding. Most people are really short.
yeah. I mean, some of these guys, I think Samson and some couple of guys are kind of the really bigger, taller guys. But there are some guys that you don't realize how, like women bodybuilders, you don't realize how small they are. But there's the ones who are pretty. They are Amazons. They are units. Like we
Yeah,
talk about Amazonka. There's also another Russian, Anastasia Korbaleva. She's a beast. I mean, I think it's genetics or whatever they're taking or using or whatever they're dying to train it on.
cats are yelling.
Yeah, that's all right. I got a neighbor hucking my horn right now, but it's just about how you grow over time in a period as an athlete. So, folks, while we got Lucy here talking with her, what we do is we're going to jump into her social media for a bit. We're gonna, check out some stuff. If you want to follow her, the link description in the lives. Check her out. But guys, I want to tell y'all this. She's a nice, lovely lady. She's here to talking with me. Yeah, I appreciate that. But guys out there, and I know you guys are, and Lucy, I meet my crown about it. I almost have heard smell y'all ain't excite me. But then there's the guys out there, be nice, be kind, no D pics, no weird shit. Stop it. Get some help. You know, you get that little tickle your pickle, brother. Calm yourself down. So, we're gonna jump into social media for a bit. And this is the video that I saw that got me interested because I follow Female Boxing Channel. I said again, I did a couple of their lives with them, interviews with them, and this is the video from when she competed at Vulcans. That was last year. Let me see,
Mhm.
it's trying to what's going on. Here he is, and she's talking to I think it's AJ.
She just won the Balkan Pro Regional Pro qualifiers in 2 weeks. Women's physique. And she dominated today. And when is the pro qualifier? 5th or 9th of November. And fantastic.
I mean,
From Bulgaria.
when AJ told you you were fantastic, he knows his shit. He's been in the game quite as long. He's worked in the media side of bodybuilding. He goes to shows. I mean, you look very impressive. You say you want to do Romania, but then you decided to drop out because you course just maybe wasting time.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, even when I got into it, I sometimes clicked on their videos and whatnot and listened to them, and I couldn't believe that I saw myself then on their page. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
and when he said, "Oh yeah, she dominated. She looks amazing," it's like, wow. I felt that it has to be one of the best compliments I ever gotten because yeah, out of coming from him, that means something. So
Yeah, he
I felt very proud and happy. But
whereas
yeah,
old
it was like,
yeah,
sorry.
it's oh go ahead. I was saying there's an old country song. He knows his horse flesh, so you
Mhm.
know. But you look very impressive. Here she is, nice picture. She has great abdominals. Wow, look at that. And she
You.
and she prior to two guys, so that's why I tell you guys to be careful about you act like women. So yeah, that was the Balkans. That was last year. What was critique from the judges? What did they told you? Because I most definitely you look very impressive right here. You're training, working out. You look very impressive.
Thank you. Well, I definitely need more lower body still. I need to have bigger legs, bigger ass, in proportion, obviously. But I think that's really lacking the most. But generally, I still need size pretty much everywhere if I want to one day compete with pros in the pro stage. So yeah, but yeah, trying to work on my hamstrings, my legs, my ass, trying to upgrade that a little bit, and yeah, hoping to get to a level where I can then compete a lot more and on a pro level, and then see how far I can go. That's the goal ultimately.
Yeah, that's the
But my
goal because
legs
you
have
really.
always been my legs are always my weakest part as well. It's, you're gonna laugh. Like my squat is so bad. I can literally bench more for more reps than I can squat. It's like that. I don't know. I was. It's like God wanted me to be a calisthenics athlete or something. I'm very top heavy strength wise as well.
Well, it's good that you're working on your strength. It's just as much as you're working on your weakness. As you
Yeah.
know, as over time, you know, especially you're still brand new to the sport. You only been doing it for about a couple of years now, and it
Hmm.
takes some people because you have to hit that most maturity. Like I said, you're still in your 30s. I've seen some
Yeah.
ladies who start developing when they start reaching close to their 40s and their 50s. And you know, like I said again, you're a very impressive young lady from what I've seen from videos and the pictures I've
Thank
seen.
you. Thank you.
You have great look to you. Again, um, take that time because with some competitors, especially young competitors, they want everything quick, fast, in a hurry. They want to rush. But then you rush, you burn out, you miss some things, or you burn yourself out because this sport again can be a lot for anybody.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
well,
Sorry.
go ahead, go ahead.
No, yeah, you're completely right. So while I know I'm not getting any younger, it's like there's no point in obviously trying to go too quickly. And at the end of the day, I want to do this as healthily as I can while also achieving my goals in a reasonable time. But yeah, the muscle maturity is a thing that I will probably be for a long time on the back foot with. And it just is how it is. I can it's not something you can rush.
Mhm. Here
I
she is
mean,
as she after she got the announcement about her sponsorship.
In my story or Instagram bio already, there has been a very big development in my bodybuilding journey. I now get to be a sponsored athlete for Team Pro Coaching, which means I have a new coach, the one and only Helle Trevino, which is an absolute honor. I feel extremely humbled and happy and blessed to have been selected to join their team. It's really amazing what they're doing, that they're giving back to the sport, and they're giving athletes like me the opportunity to benefit from such elite coaching. This is a huge opportunity that I will absolutely not waste. This is exactly what I need to bring my physique to the next level. This does mean that after 3 years of coaching, Ilona, aka Chikara Transformation, is no longer my coach, but still a very good friend, obviously. And on that note, a huge, huge thank you. She has single handedly picked me up and raised me into the bodybuilder and also person probably you see before you today. Um, it is arguably the biggest and most amazing present anyone has ever made me. So thank you so much, Ilona. And yeah, I will also continue to make you proud. I hope I'll give it 120% as always. Yeah, I will keep you guys posted if you want to see how it goes. I am actually considering, not considering, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make a YouTube channel. I know I've been talking about this before. And to my surprise, some people have actually been asking about it. So in the near future, you will probably see me yapping a bit more somewhere. And again, big thank you to Team 4 Pro Coaching for this opportunity. I will not let you down. And let's grow some muscles together. Hi, guys.
Well, that's great. You know, and you mentioned your coach, Alona. When did you two meet, and how long were you together before you switched over to Hella?
So that's actually a cool story because I was Ilona's fan for a long time. Like I said, I went through YouTube trying to learn about bodybuilding, and that's where I found her because she was vlogging about her experience and journey as a bodybuilder and reacting to fitness stuff and fat acceptance stuff and girl world stuff, things like that. So I was like, wow, she's so cool. And through sheer luck, she moved to the same city that I live in, and I was always thinking, man, I feel like we could be good friends. And I messaged her. I was like, oh, I want to get your autograph if you're ever around. And she said, well, I'm looking to meet some fans. Maybe we can train together or something. And we did went to train, and we ultimately did become friends. And I was trying to find a coach I can achieve my goals with, and I was kind of it's kind of difficult because I wanted a coach that speaks English, that's also in the vicinity, because at that time I wanted to learn how to do compounds lift and all that stuff, and I didn't want to try to teach that myself without guidance as well. I was like, I might would be maybe a better idea if someone's around. And eventually she did offer to help me out with coaching, and yeah, from there, she has taken absolute incredibly care of me. I mean, it speaks for itself. The results, like ultimately, this is all her work. Basically, all I have been doing is doing what I'm told. That's it. That's the cool thing about bodybuilding. There's no, as long as you can follow instructions, you're good to go. So yeah, and she is a very she really makes sure that I was in good health as well, and she was very conservative with PED use as well. She was talking about um, her journey and stuff, and her opinions on cycles and things with Coach Colton on his channel as well. Um, Great channel, by the way. He's very critical of those things, but nonetheless, he does speak the truth. So yeah, she was on there as well, talking about that, and she also told me that maybe I should look into getting another coach because she is not. She said, yeah, if you do want to turn pro and compete at a pro level, like cutting your Anavar pills in half is probably not going to cut it. Very long. I mean, let's be real, right? You're probably not gonna. You have to be realistic about that. And she said it's probably better if you find another, also a new coach who can guide you towards that. And yeah, and it was kind of perfect timing because then I saw a cool post saying they accept sponsored athlete applications, and off I went. And yeah, now I'm with a new coach.
That's good because you know what, it came in the right time. It's good that you had Alina in your corner the first time, and it's because she understood that she wants to see you evolve and grow as a bodybuilder.
Yes.
And you know, and people like Hella, Gina, and Irene, they can probably help because they're both are IFB pros, retired, both of them, all three of them, and both with Irene and Hella, they've been to Olympia with Hella being in the top three in top five in her appearances. You know, amazing lady. I've been talking with her, hoping to have them on as guests in the future. You know, I've had Gina out here before. You know, she went through a lot. You know, she took a step back because of medical reasons. And I think with Hella Irene, they know that the sport's changing and it's hard to try to stay in the shape and condition and compete with you know like the most amazing women in the sport of this sport. I've been a fan of women's bodybuilding for a long time, but I've also evolved into other divisions too, like particularly you've been to compete for some time. Is it a particular bodybuilder that you follow that you admire their work, their consistency, what they bring in physique wise?
Mm, there are a few. There is what's her name? She's so cool, and I forgot her name. Hold on one second. Let me check it. I hope I'm not gonna like end the stream because I have her saved.
All right.
Oh my, like I'm so bad with names. Now I wanna give me 1 second. I'm gonna look her up because she's incredible, and I keep
Well, give
forgetting her
folks,
name.
give second folks. You would say I'll entertain you. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da da
It
da
was
da.
like loading a
All
bit
right.
slow. Oh my god. It's
Well,
loading. I'm getting there.
yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, folks, you know how it is. You know, it's always about a lot of these ladies. There's so many of them. With me, I learned from my master Raza Guru, beware my surroundings at all time. There's some particularly amazing ladies in the sport that I follow. I'm fans of. You know, guys, particularly who I'm going to talk about first, and I can't help myself. I can't help it because she's my girlfriend, and that is Andrea Shaw.
You can't talk about bodybuilding and not mention Andrea Shaw.
She. What makes this special about this book, Lucy, is my friend Eunice. She runs a company called Bad Rap. And Bad Rap, they are dedicated to helping to advance women's bodybuilding, female bodybuilding in general. The moniker is Big and Defined, Ripped and Pumped, and we guys like to rip part. She was at the Olympic back in 2023, and she ran into Andrea. And he said, she sent me like, okay, George, when's your birthday? I was like, such such. I said, well, I want to see you something. And a week later, I got this in the mail. And I could get this, it's hard to find muscle magazines like I used to, like on in stores like that. But what makes this so special about this magazine is Andrea signed it herself.
That is so
That
cool.
is it's so cool. I think she's so beautiful. She's so amazing. I'm addicted to her. I
She
can't leave her alone.
is.
I can't help it. I can't help it. But who do you really admire as an athlete in the sport?
So I had to look up her name again because
You don't have
you
to look
know
at
her
it. You just
name.
let
Sometimes. Like I
you
follow her for
literally.
years and I keep forgetting her name like literally stupid. But
Well,
it's
what
Amanda
division she
Machado. Probably
Amanda
like
Amanda Machado?
mispronouncing that even.
Amanda
Yeah.
Machado. Oh yeah,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I got to see her because she helps her boyfriend Dom Slice. They coach competitors.
Yeah.
A couple of ladies. One lady interviewed Tiana Flex is one of the clients. Levana Barros, Susan Matheson Graham. I interviewed her where she was at Tampa that year. She competed. They have a stable of amazing women. Amanda's an amazing lady. She's from Brazil originally. Beautiful and great physique. Her and
Yeah.
her fiance Dom are doing pretty good work with some competitors. There's a long list. Couple
Yeah.
ladies
But
where
she also was like, I love when obviously she looks very feminine and beautiful still, and especially like in her posing, she just has this strikes this balance of absolute strength and badassity, but with so much almost regal elegance. I don't know, like it's very beautiful, and she has the best abs and thigh. Like when she does the when she hits that pose, it looks so cool. Man, and she has a very beautiful face as well, and just
yeah.
yeah, and yeah, she's amazing, and yeah, that's also. I was like, man, if I can look like that one day, I'll be very happy. She's like
I,
full as well. Like she brings kind of this like like
muscle and to bring that combination of muscularity and femininity. That's I think it's very important for women's display because people are always going to judge women with muscle as being masculine. I watch videos and see. I saw this one video talking about if you're a guy who likes women with muscle, you're gay. Oh, wait a minute, sir. It'd be one thing if I have a hard on for Nick Walker or maybe
I mean,
or maybe
that would also be understandable, though.
yeah. But this is me who's the guy who likes women and I find women attractive. Like when I was in Tampa, I ran into some ladies, a couple Olympians. I ran into Ashley Jones right here, and you look at me. I'm like a big bear holding a little baby, and and Sharonka Hinton, she's a lovely lady. We got to talk and hang a little bit. Um, Here, I'm here. I got to talk with Paula Ranta. She's just in her. She's younger than you, and her potential. She's growing, developing. Um, and it was great for me experience to go to Tampa with me and my friend Eunice. She runs Bad Rap. We were at the booth. We were hanging with David Lee Roth. This is a rock legend. And I wouldn't get to meet this man if I didn't go and check with my friend. And even this is the one person I think you might have met him too. Um, Kevin LeBron. I ran into
Yeah,
him
man.
at yeah, because I ran into him. I shook his hand. I said, "Mr. LeBron, I remember watching you, seeing you. You should have missed the Olympia at least twice in your career." He said, "Yeah, I could have been. Yeah, yeah." But he's amazing. He
Yeah,
does
he's
Bob
so basic,
Chicarello and
down to earth as well. He's so sweet.
yeah, he's like he was the pretty Ricky of male bodybuilders. He was very attractive, very great hair. But yeah,
Are you sure you're not?
everybody. Go ahead.
I'm joking. No, I was just joking.
Go ahead. Go
Um,
ahead.
No, I said like, are you sure you know him, the guy? I mean, Kevin Durant was pretty, in his prime. I was very attracted to man.
Man,
But yeah,
he
actually, my one of my relationships actually ended because of bodybuilding, and yeah, well, my partner at the time, I mean, to be fair, he told me before because we were together before I got into bodybuilding, and I showed him a picture of a physique girl once, and he was like, "Well, if you're that going that big, I'm not going to be with you. That's too much." And yeah, he then like he also said about like my back getting too wide and it's not being attractive anymore, which is fine though because it's definitely not for everyone. Obviously, everyone's entitled to have their preferences, and it is very extreme. Obviously, I mean I put myself into kind of a niche category, but it goes both ways. Like the stronger and bigger I got, the less attractive he became to me as well, because I'm like now I'm like I like my man to be bigger than me, stronger than me, and yeah, likewise, it's also then a bit, in this day and age, not everyone goes to the gym. Unfortunately, everyone should, but yeah, I mean, I put myself obviously into a niche category, but I'm doing that on purpose, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I remember when he did express his unhappiness with my physique, I went to the gym later that day. And I was a bit sad and distraught at first. And I was like, oh, well, I don't want to stop bodybuilding. And I looked in the mirror. I was walking past the mirror in the gym. And I was like, wow, I love myself. I love where this is going. And I want to be even bigger. And I felt so happy in that moment. And I realized that I love this so much more, like, than any male validation or anything like that could ever give me. And I don't want to change my body to appease a potential partner or something like that and be something I would find less attractive to myself. And when I looked in the mirror there, I was like, yeah, I don't care. Even if I'll be single for the rest of my life, at least I'll be happy with myself and I'll look in the mirror and I can be like, yes, I feel like myself. I look like myself. I'm happy.
Yeah. There's a great actress, Eartha Kitt says, like, I don't want somebody to be in love with me. I want to be in love with myself. And I want to find somebody to share that love. I want to be in love with me. And then if somebody come along and share it, that'd be a great thing. And that thing is, generally, most men won't want to be with women with muscles. I've interviewed ladies who were married and they broke up and got divorced because the husband didn't like the way they were changing. Because after having kids and then life was changing, kids didn't need much anymore. They wanted to break the cycle of what it was, just the mundane of their life. And they found it as inspiration. They found something that really inspired them to grow and change. And then that men didn't feel comfortable because as men, we don't like change too much. We like everything staying the same. We like to stay like you keep a little bubbly, you like to stay like that. But then you start getting like like you're getting like you're like getting big and bulky, you get
The
huge.
comfort zone is the enemy of progress.
Yeah. And the
You
thing
always have it.
and then you have to learn to be uncomfortable. And if you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. If that man is not doesn't feel like hey, this old song, I'd rather be alone than be unhappy. You know, that's the thing is you have to live for yourself, not for anybody else. And if somebody comes along and say, you know what, I've talked to ladies who have husbands or boyfriends that support them and love what they're doing and understand they're doing it, and they still love because they love the person who you are. And
Yeah.
also support is important, like especially when it comes to friends and family. Like, are you still in contact with your family? How do they feel about you being a bodybuilder?
Well, not really. So, I'll spare you the sob story, but I was eventually put into foster care.
Uh,
And yeah, then when I was 18, I couldn't stay there anymore. So it's been a bit like difficult to find my footing in life, which I have now, but don't have like I have like an aunt I sometimes say like hello to once a year or so on Facebook, but that's about it. And an uncle also from I'm actually half German, so I just saw someone in the chat asked if I was German. I am German indeed, but
yeah.
I am genetically half German, half Moroccan. So
Hmm.
yes, I am. And I got it's crazy. Like my dad has darker skin. Like he's like the Arab African, and my mom has like red hair, like barely any color pigments, almost see-through skin. So I came out with green eyes, brown hair, and I still got the white skin from my mom.
Well, you got that little bit of African you from your dad. You're a sister. I'm gonna say that. So,
No, I can't claim that. I can't claim that. Although technically I'm half African because Morocco's in Africa, but it does. We all know that doesn't really count. It's the Arab side. It's fine. It doesn't
but
really
still,
count.
Arab doesn't matter. It's still black, wherever it comes. It's within the region. Shout out to my man Glenn. He mentioned. He says, "Hi, Lily. Are you Germany?" And she just said that. And also, we got
Yeah.
here from a man here. Andy says, "Hope to see you on stage soon, Leonie." Well, she like I said, she's gonna take some time. She'll eventually let us know when she's ready because right now she's got a new coach. She has to figure out the relationship with her and see how things go. Because this is the thing about bodybuilding, it's a process. As we talked earlier, it's good part work of it is going to be in the kitchen, good part is going to be in the gym. And it's not always like which most people when you look at bodybuilding, it's like you're taking steroids, you're like Arnold, I just get a little taller. But
I
that's
mean,
the
yeah,
thing
you
is,
are, but it still takes a long time to build muscle, especially as a woman. And yeah, the thing is also when I come, so again, my goal with competing and going to sport is really to see how far I can go. And there's no point in like I want to make a statement, I want to build something really amazing and then go out there and yeah, like I said, it's not just about winning a pro card. I also want to be competitive at a pro level. I know I have incredibly lofty goals for someone who has, like I said, been going to the gym for like 5 6 years as best, but as I always think it's better to have lofty goals, especially if you're really passionate about something. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You might not achieve them all the way, but at least you gave it your best shot. And
yeah,
it's fun.
because
Fun to have a lot of high goals.
yeah, it's
I,
good
I
to it's
yeah,
good
no,
to
it's very
focus.
anime.
Yeah, it's good to focus on where you want to go, and then try to be within reason. Because some people will want to do more than expected. Because anything bodybuilding is not as mainstream as other sports are, like soccer, football, basketball, baseball. It's seen as a fetish sport because the stream of it. Back in the day, I used to remember I used to catch bodybuilding on network television on cable. Now you can watch cornhole and pillow fighting and I mean,
Yeah, go
those are yeah. It's a friend of mine actually. He was traveling because he does some traveling too. He was in a motel watching TV, flipping through it, and on the TV guide thing said they had championship bubblegum chewing on ESPN 8. I mean, I
okay.
mean, so you don't. But the thing is, people just don't feel comfortable with it. And with the family thing, I don't know. I grew up. My mother and my father were together for 55 years, even though they were separated. He was living in New Jersey, we were staying in North Carolina. And I grew up in a big family. It had three older sisters, a brother, my older brother, my younger brother, two of my nephews, my nieces. Grew around with them. And one thing was, family connection is very important. But it's good that you have other people that support you.
Yeah.
For a long time, I was taking care of my mom. She was sick, and she passed during the pandemic because she got the C-19. And
Oh, that's very
this
sorry to hear
content,
that.
yeah, I appreciate that. This content really helped me when I was taking care of her. Was because I was a fan of y'all ladies, and then started doing interviews and starting doing content. Because a friend told me, shout out to my man, Coach Sherry here. She told me, George, find something you like to do that helps you out with the mental aspects of taking care of somebody, because it could be a stress. And at one point, I was almost 500 pounds, but then after my mom passed, so I take care of myself. I Right now I'm sitting at maybe 420. I was doing pretty good one time, but then I had a little
That's
issue, and then
already progress. That's already progress.
yeah, I'm getting back on the horse again. Shout out to my man, Kev, the one that coming through. He's just content says, "Good morning. How long you been competing?"
Well, since 2023, that was my first show, and then last October was my second show.
Yeah, and and that was in the Balkans. And what made you choose that show?
It is a 15-minute walk away from where I live.
That's
So
convenient.
it's yes, it is very convenient to get to. It's very close. So that was the main motivator. I'm not exactly made out of money, so it would be a lot more difficult to go to a show where I have to fly to and then get a hotel and stuff. And yeah, it's perfectly fine for the purposes. Like, I mean, now you have to compete in a regional show anyway before you can go for a pro qualifier. So this is the perfect show for that anyway, because
Hmm.
it is literally right next door, basically.
Yeah, that saves you a few bucks because I know that's one thing about being a bodybuilder: the expense of competing, especially as an amateur. Entry fees, your suits, your hair, your makeup, your depending what division you're in, you have to wear heels, or you have to wear. Well, for the guys, have to wear a pair of banana hammocks and boy shorts. You ladies, you have to be presentable. You have to look both very muscular and striated and ripped, but also be feminine and very womanly.
Yeah.
And it's a hard line to walk, and people don't understand that there's so much involved with it. Then we even if you do get your pro card, now you have to step it up the game a little bit
Mhm.
because you could go and compete against women across the world. You
Yes.
know, if you do get your pro card and if you do get to show
When?
you
When?
when I'm sorry, I'm gonna apologize. When you get your pro card, would you
Yes.
want to make your pro debut after, or you want to wait the time and use that opportunity to grow a little more?
Uh, well, the way I see it now is my point is at all like I do want to get big enough to compete at the pro level. Since I was like screw it, because then when I get my pro card and I'm big enough and I'm there already, then I could immediately go to in the same season compete at a pro level. This means I have to peak less often, and it just to me that makes a bit more sense. It's a bit more time efficient. But yeah, like I said, also I am going to whatever Halle tells me to do, and what she thinks is right for my career as a bodybuilder, I will do. So because she knows a lot more